morning today, 238, just about morning, 20 to 12. Sometimes I get waylaid and I keep forgetting to actually get onto the video, so sorry for it being so late. But before we start, please help me like and subscribe, as I keep on asking you guys to. The more people I can try and reach out to, the better. We've had some great comments. Sorry I've been a bit slack in the last couple of days with regards to responding, but it's been absolutely hectic here. So I'm trying to get work done, manage people, make sure things don't go wrong. And I'm also trying to get some information out to you guys to try and help you learn from some of the pitfalls that I've fallen into and struggled to climb out of. Anyway, I'm not in a prison, I'm actually downstairs in the basement. I thought today I'd just start off by showing you the setup that we've actually put in. So we've gone with one of the Solar Dynamics systems up on the roof. They first of all sent us a 40-gallon unit rather than 80, so they came and swapped it. We didn't find that out until we went up on the roof. When you buy the 80-gallon unit, which is the biggest one they do, which is what we bought, apparently it comes with free installation. So we weren't told that. We bought it at Koyman's. Koyman's sent it on delivery. They don't have that one in stock. So the 80-gallon is one that you have to go to Solar Dynamics for. You can still buy it there, but you have to obviously go to them direct. So we phoned Koyman's. They got obviously onto Solar Dynamics. They were good. They phoned. They apologised. They sent the new unit. And then also confirmed that they wanted to send to have it installed. And we were like, okay, that's fine, but we haven't paid to have it installed. They said it comes with it. So I cancelled the people that we were using. So sorry, Jason, who's a good guy, by the way, and I will share his contact. But obviously where we're concerned, they came and installed it. Now, Jason's since been back, because what I want to do is put an inline system onto the heating, which I'll show you in a second. Hot water, sorry, not heating. Whilst he was up on the roof, he said, you do realise you've got a 65-gallon unit. So, cut a long story short, they've come and changed the unit, but they've changed it for a 65-gallon, not an 80-gallon. So we've now got a 65-gallon unit up on the roof, which is now the wrong one. That's got to be swapped as well. So that's going to be coming on the 14th, 15th of Feb. In the meantime, what I want to do is show you what else I bought. So this is an electric heater. This is here in case, obviously, we run out of water up on the roof. So it's quite a big house, obviously. And to a certain extent, I would have had 100 gallons here, but they only had 40-gallon units in stock. So this is a 40-gallon unit. And this here, around the corner, is an inline pump. Inline pumps work on a ring. So you have to have an out to every single sink or radiator, whatever you're going to have it to, and it has to come back again. And as a result of that, you can then use the pump, and the pump itself then goes around the system. It keeps the hot water going around all the time, so that when you turn on the tap, rather than waiting 25 years for some hot water to come through, it's reasonably instant. So we've had the pipe work, obviously, on the wall behind me, coming into all the different areas. Every single one of the pipes goes around and then valves off into each room. As you can see here, this is valved off. So at any point we can shut down each room. The electric to the pump is in, and the electric to the heater is in. So when this physically senses that the water coming down from upstairs is being used and the sun's maybe not up, then that will kick in and start charging. Obviously electric's expensive here, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But during the day what will happen is the inline pump will keep the system going through all the time. So hot water will come down to this unit at all times. So the valve has got to be put in as yet, but what should happen is the system upstairs will prioritise heating itself. When it gets to the point where it's at capacity, it will then start feeding this down here. When the sun goes down, we should have the gallons down here boiling hot and the gallons upstairs boiling hot, which means then we've got more water and all of it should be fed by solar. Should, for whatever reason, my daughters decide to have half an hour showers at a point, times by 4, then obviously this will run out, so will upstairs, and this will then kick in and will heat. So as you can see here, you've got cold valve coming in, hot valve going out, connected into 2 pipes that can be bypassed if there's a problem with this. So if this is a problem, we can shut this off. So if a valve goes, rather than pushing cold water into the system, you can valve that off. This is obviously the 2 inline and out lines going up and across. And obviously the pump itself is making sure that the water is coming down and back through and keeps on going round and round and round itself. So I'll try and show you with my sturdy light. This is where our conduits will be coming through for air conditioning, etc. This is obviously the electrics coming in, telecoms, mains, cable into the building. And as you can see, through the beam all the way around, each room has got its own valve in and out. So that's a laundry room. Over there is one of the main bathrooms. We're hoping to box some of this in as well, some of this stuff, because eventually we do want to try and turn some of this into a usable space. We've got sumps in the corner each one in case there's ever a flood. So as you can see, the basement is pretty big, and I've just pulled the light out so that doesn't work. A little bit of a light. As you can see, it's had a bit of a sweep out downstairs. There's still some formwork that was up, which we've got to remove. Here's the staircase that goes upstairs. The system runs all the way along, right over to the master suite, and then pretty much ceases. And that's where it's got to go back. So the only part at the moment, as far as I'm aware, we don't have the return on is here, which is typical, my place. So yeah, we need to just make sure that the return itself is on a loop the whole way around. So that's pretty much what those pipes are there. You've got the feeds coming down hot and cold, and then you've actually got the hot detouring back again. So apart from this little run from here over to where the sinks are going to be, everything is now on that loop. So the loops themselves obviously go around the whole building, and obviously in the concrete slab itself we've got pipe work going through which you can't see. This is just the ones we've had running afterwards. But there is obviously quite a large amount of pipes that are in the concrete. So for instance, the kitchen is over here. So obviously there's the sink drainage, etc. There's all pipes in this concrete you can't see, but again, it's all on that one system. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today, just so you can see what I meant. Well, right, I mean, if you can afford it, it's well worth doing, because at the end of the day, you have your own storage of water. So solar is only as good on the electric and water front compared to what you use, because obviously the sun comes down. So for solar electric, you need batteries, and for water, you need tanks. So anytime the solar's working during the day, it's working to not only fill the tank upstairs, but it's filling down here. And if you had solar electric, you'd have batteries here, and it would charge the battery, so that when the sun goes down, the solar is still giving you something from the day, and obviously you're then getting a cost-effective way to run water and electric. So that's pretty much where we are on here. I've not really shown you guys a lot of downstairs, but here's one of the basement areas. This is an 80-odd foot storage area at some stage. I don't know what's going to happen. This backs onto the side of the swimming pool, the front of the house, and this is obviously one of the storage areas next door. This is what we've had to do upstairs. It's temporary for now, but where we've had one of the pools of water on the patio, we've decided to drill a hole and put a nice trap up there, and we can now run the water straight off rather than it working its way over to the house itself. And at some stage, we're going to have to work out what to do here. We're either going to put a window in here and keep this open, or put some vents in here. But at the moment, this is where the plumbers and the tradespeople access to try and do what they've got to do. But we are thinking, how do we reutilise this in some way moving forward rather than boxing it up? Obviously, the only access we have into this basement downstairs is obviously via upstairs, which at some stage we're going to land up or either making a staircase or closing up. So this will be an unused space for a duration of time. But anyway, I just wanted to give you that. The other thing, obviously, was that this big trunk, and let me spit it out. This pipe that we've got running across here is actually the mains. So that mains pipe goes through a conduit we've got going through the patio and goes right over to the irrigation area and the pump area. So that's where all of our water tanks are held. It's where our pumps are held. It's where the mains water comes into the building. So the mains comes in from the street over here, and it runs all the way along. See the white pipe there? That's going to end up being tied on the floor at some stage. It runs all the way around the building, all the way around to the side, comes into our pump room, which I'll show you in a second, fills the tanks and comes through the pumps. So let me go over there and show you that quickly. Okay, so we're in the depths of the cottage. So this is like where we've managed to put all the water tanks. So we've got two 450 gallon water tanks. The mains comes into the building here, comes into a filter straight away where any debris, any nasty stuff is picked up. The tanks themselves will be filled first, and they will connect to each other, and then they go into a pump, and that pump then obviously feeds the house with pressured water. The mains water coming through, as you can appreciate, doesn't have a great deal of pressure on it at all. And then it comes, before it gets to the house, it goes through yet another filter, and then it flies through into here, and then comes through into the patio area, straight through into that bar we saw just a minute ago. These here are the gutters that go to the irrigation tank from the roof above. So that's where we're feeding our irrigation from. So yeah, quite a big space down here. Eventually we'll have a wooden floor going right across this. And here in this corner here is where the hatch is outside that you actually access down here from. So eventually we'll have the 8x3s in here, a floor put in here, and the only way to access down here will be via here. The reason why we decided to put a wooden floor in here is because if there's any issues with these and have to take the floor up, then it's easier obviously just take a couple of planks up and a couple of beams than it is busting holes in concrete floors or concrete walls. So it has cost more money to do it, but at the same time it's probably the right thing to do. Also gives you a 25-foot ceiling as well, so how amazing would that be? Boxing that off and making this a sofa area, living area, rather than a tank area. But anyway, so let's get upstairs here. So we're in the midst of just clearing this out now, so we've got hardly any material left. This is going to be plastered in the next week. We're going to plaster all the way around in here and plasterboard the ceilings. We're going to turn this into a big empty white box. We are still waiting for the windows, unfortunately, hence the reason why it's still not finished off. But again, we're going to start off by plastering it, getting all the sockets in, getting it as a white box ready for the windows to be installed, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with it thereafter. But hopefully the windows will be en route at some stage, that's for sure. We were going to go with the same concept over the road with the sort of wall, conduit and plasterboard and filling and sanding, but you've seen my experience on the filling and sanding front on this island. I can't stomach anymore, but that was put in prior to that, so what I'm probably going to end up doing is getting that part boxed in and then just doing the rest plaster. So anyway, that's where we are with this building. Outside, what we're doing today. Today the white mortar's going on, the overhang, which is awesome, so that should look pretty. We've got painters inside giving another coat on the ceiling inside because the ceiling just isn't, it's too patchy. We've got the roof men that have come to put something over the cracks because they just can't get the cracks to stop. We've got the rebar boys obviously finishing the driveway rebar. That's being done on Wednesday, so we've got 16 cubic metres of concrete coming. Oh look, what's that called you got in your hand? What's that called? What's that in your hand? What's it called? So as you can see, they're cutting up the actual the BRC. They're installing the BRC first. Under the BRC, there's already some half-inch steel. I think it's half-inch steel, might be quarter-inch. But anyway, there's steel underneath it. They're going to obviously smock off the floor. They've already started lifting it off. We've had to go 3 inches higher on the mile front there for some unknown reason. So as a result, rather than one bit of 2x4 on the side, you can see 2. So the floor will be a bit higher there. That will also help the water from the floor itself not coming into the garage area. But our main goal at the moment is to physically leave that as it is and build a slight wall around the building and just have this as a parking sort of driveway for now, and we'll think about whether we're going to put a garage on it later on. That does obviously mean that we have to sort something out above, so we're going to finish off this beam here and cut the rebar back, and then we're going to put a concrete roof over here and finish off the roof upstairs, so it'll be like a P shape. So it'll be a concrete overhang over the steps, and it'll be a concrete roof over that, and we'll look at making all this pretty, and then eventually maybe we'll do some form of canopy or garage. But that's what we're going to do for now, just to get everything else done, focus on a few things. My wife tells me I have a habit of dabbling with 20 things rather than focus on 2 things. That's the way I'm wired, unfortunately. So down here we did have a little bit of a problem yesterday. We had one of the toilets backing up. It landed up being that we hadn't benched. When we changed the pipe in here, we had forgotten, they had forgotten to bench the inside. So when they pulled the pipe out, the benching collapsed. So we had a big build-up of horrible stuff in here yesterday, so we had to pull that out and we had to re-bench it and couldn't use the toilet for 3, 4, 5 hours. So we need to pull that up and make sure that that is still good. The door is meant to be delivered today, but unfortunately it's going to be Tuesday. They did some touching up to it on Saturday and wanted to give it another 24 hours to go off. So that is going to be a big day, because that is going to be an absolutely monstrous piece to put in, and it's going to make the house look absolutely amazing. So we're looking forward to it, but it's going to be a big challenge, that's for sure. So we want to make sure the steps are all good before that happens, including here. We've got to put the actual garage gate track in there, something like tomorrow. That's being delivered tomorrow. So this has all got to be sort of dug up in order for that to go in, and we've also got to do it here as well, because obviously it runs across the front, funny enough. So that's working out. Again, we can only get a galvanised track rather than stainless. That's working out about $1,500 just for the actual material and delivery. And then we need to pay someone to install it and make sure it's level. And initially, we'll have a long roller gate for now until we decide what we want and we can afford to do what we really want. Anyone out there that knows anybody on the island that does gates, let me know. Also, colour. Door's going to be like a very, similar to the pillar inside, a very dark grey. So let me know what colour you think I should do the gate. Should it be the same? Should it be similar? Should it be in metal? Should it be in wood? let me know. But on top of that, I'm also looking for recommendations on looks and feels as well. So anybody sees a bloody good gate, let me know, because I'd like to see it. But yeah, that's going to be done track-wise this week, and then I'm going to start looking, obviously, at where I'm going to source that from. I think I'm going to use the company. I know the company I'm going to use, but at the same time, it's just sourcing the look and feel of what I want it to look like. Other than that, a little bit overcast. Had some rain last night. Hopefully, the roof is going to be sorted for today, because I really can't be doing this saga of the roof, that's for sure. So I shall be liaising with him in a minute to find out that that's been dealt with. Other than that, I'll check in soon. So it's 4 o'clock, just returned after doing some runs for materials. Got some touching up going on, got some painting going on. We've had the whole of the living area and walls painted as we speak. I want to try and do the sofa and everything this evening. So we didn't really want to be painting above. Get that done and then get the kitchen and everything done tomorrow. Rebar and trunking been run through here. So this is now pretty much ready for Wednesday. There we go, there's the conduit going through. So the conduits going through the actual concrete floor are going to be for front telecoms, driveway power on the walls, etc. So you get all that laid in first. Power. Up here the guys have been obviously white mortaring the front, so let's go and have a look at what that looks like now. Negotiate and think it through. Okay. So we've now got the white mortar front edge all the way along, which is good. And there's also guys up on the roof as well, so I assume they're actually trying to sort any of the leaks out. Coming out, needs to be redone. Ply sheets disappearing around the side for some reason. Might be to close up said door, maybe. Okay, so that's obviously the stuff that's coming out of there, all of thought. Not too sure what that is. But anyway, we need to get that cleared up, because I'm fed up with rubbish everywhere, so we need to get everything cleared up. It's a home now, so we need to stop dumping. Also, the doors were meant to be, obviously that was all industrial cleaned yesterday, so without being rude, that was probably a waste of time. They've got specks of white filler over it, and then obviously they're going to start sanding, so they're just going to get absolutely caned again. But anyway, they've got to be done. It's not something they can help. Need to get the 6 lights drilled into here as well, so we need to start filling that and sanding that next. Yeah, it's looking alright. Looking alright. Let's see this hopefully come off. What else is taking place today? There's not a great deal more. Nails everywhere. Apparently the electrics were swapped over on the boiler earlier on, so that's been sorted, thank God. Yeah, so it's driveway, upstairs, on the roof, front mortared edge. I did say I wanted the front edge done by the end of play today as well, so that we weren't doing that tomorrow when the door was delivered. I was assured it would. We're now being told it won't. So that's not good, because that was meant to be done. They're fixing the actual gutter, trying to see if they can stop the leak going down the side. It seems to be getting damp here somewhere, so it's obviously coming through where the side of the drain pipe down into the cavity and then sitting here. So we need to get that stopped. And we also need to get the white mortar on here done ideally now, so that we don't have the issue with the front door. But anyway, that's something that's been dropped since I've gone. We're going to get this redone. The rebar guys are here, so we're going to get that redone. We're going to get that concreted, and we're going to do the concrete roof over that and the toilet, and then we're going to leave this as a driveway for a while and see how we get on. Give me time to save up to actually afford the garage because of the salt air here. In as much as it's very breezy, you do want a garage in an ideal world, because you don't want to be leaving your car out all the time. And anything else, bikes, push bikes, you want to be putting them away. So the long-term goal is to definitely get the garage done, but I just need to be in a situation where we settle first, recuperate a little bit, save a bit of dosh, and then come back and do that, that's for sure. I do definitely still want to do it. Just need to look at a more cost-effective way of doing it and time to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much what we are so far. After everything is done, I will go around just line everything up, straighten things up. In here, it's pretty much ripped out today, so as you can see the actual format's been taken down inside, so now we need to get the top piece plastered and then the roof plasterboarded, and then we can fit the suite in here. The door obviously needs to have the door handle and the door lock installed, and then we can put the window back on. I might actually buy a bit of perspex, it's small enough to buy a bit of perspex, so I'm not too sure if they do it 8 foot tall. I did see it in Queens the other day, but it looked like they were 4 or 5 feet high, so not going to make a great window then, that's for sure. But better to have light in here than not. Electrics have obviously been running already. Drainage for the sink and everything's already here. Power for LED lights already in. It's just a case of finishing off the plastering and getting it painted and getting the ceiling in with the light, and then we can get the toilet installed. Also need to get painters to fill and sand the door frames as well and get the doors painted, so that's one thing they can actually do in the next day or two. So anyway, that's where we are so far. It's 4:15, so the guys won't be staying a great deal longer. So we're pretty much where we're going to be for the rest of the day. Any questions, any suggestions, comment down below, like and subscribe. Obviously, if you can do me a favour to share what you can and like and subscribe when you can, that'd be great. Other than that, have yourself a great evening and I'll see you soon.